Welcome to episode 13 of Hospitality Reinvented. I am your host, Doug Radkey, and today we are continuing on with our mini-series on the strategic playbooks that you need to start or scale or reinvent your business. Now, the last few episodes, we went over strategic clarity and feasibility studies and conceptual playbooks and also prototype playbooks. Now, the next few episodes, we're going to be going over the marketing plan playbooks and tech stack playbooks and business plan playbooks and also financial playbooks and investor decks. So what does that all leave for today? On today's episode, we are diving deep into why a brand strategy playbook isn't just important, and that it is another non-negotiable to building a business that wins and crushes it in this industry. So imagine with me for a second here. Imagine walking into a restaurant, a bar or hotel, and immediately feeling something. Not just seeing the decor or glancing at a menu in a restaurant, but feeling the essence of the brand, the energy, the people, the messaging, the values. It all immediately clicks as you walk in. That's brand strategy done right. Now, think about the last time you walked into a bar, a restaurant, or a hotel that felt completely generic and forgettable or confusing, where nothing really stood out, nothing connected, and you left without any real impression. We've all been there. The difference here is one had a clear, defined brand strategy playbook in place, and the other was just another place just trying to compete in a saturated market. So why do you need a brand strategy playbook? So first things first that I want to go over here is your brand is not just a logo. It's not even just your name or even your Instagram, aesthetic. Your logo is one of the last things that you need to worry about when it comes to brand strategy. Your brand is the emotional connection that you create with your guests. It's the gut feeling that people get when they walk into your space, when they interact with your team, when they place an order or maybe a reservation online, and when they experience what it is that you are offering. And really at the end of the day, it's what both your guests and even your staff, what they say about you when you are not in the room. It's what they tell their friends and their family the next day, or what they share about you online. But here's the problem. Most hospitality operators don't think about branding until it is too late. As someone who works, with a lot of startup brands, I can tell you that a lot of people pick a name without any meaning. They choose, colors based on personal preference instead of guest psychology. They put a lot of emphasis on the logo, so much so that it maybe goes through multiple revisions that are unnecessary. They look to create a space without thinking about the message that it sends. And then they wonder why they struggle to stand out. A brand strategy playbook, it eliminates that confusion. It gives you strategic clarity on who you are and who you serve and how to communicate your brand effectively. It's the foundation that every successful hospitality business is truly built on. So let's break down a brand strategy playbook here step by step. First up is brand philosophy. Your brand name is not just a label. It's a story, it's a statement, and it's a first impression, all in one. Every successful hospitality brand has a name that reflects its identity and its audience and its positioning. The best names create a frame of reference, meaning that every element of the name should have a meaning and also a purpose. Let's say that you are creating a cafe in the lobby level of a 4-star hotel in a downtown urban core that's geared towards maybe the financial district. Your name, it must project an identity that reflects intelligence and strategy and sophistication. It must integrate with the brand's concept and its narrative, creating an immediate emotional connection. And when crafting your brand name, you want to ask yourself 3 critical questions. And number 1 is, does the name reflect my brand's purpose? Number 2, does it create curiosity or familiarity? And 3, does it set the tone for the guest experience? Your name is where your brand story truly begins, so make it matter. So why does your brand story, why does that matter? Now, here's one thing that you need to remember. People don't connect with businesses. They connect with stories. Your brand story is what makes your concept, human and relatable and engaging. It's the why behind what you do. Think about the brands that you love, your favorite coffee shop or your go-to cocktail bar or the boutique hotel that you always look to book. Chances are their story resonates with you. It speaks to your values and your aspirations or your emotions. So ask yourself, what is your story? What's inspired your concept? What problem are you looking to solve in your community? Why should people care that you even exist? Your brand story, isn't just marketing, fluff. It's a strategic tool that drives guest loyalty and team culture and also long-term success. So what about your core values and your brand statements? That should be next, right? Walt Disney once said, when your values are clear to you, making decisions becomes easier. And that's why we use an exercise called Napkinomics at KRG Hospitality. We present our clients with over 400 core values and then challenge them to choose the 5 to 10 that truly resonate with their brand. Why only, 5 to 10? Because your values should be so clear and so precise and so memorable that they could fit on a napkin. And those core values will help with a variety of other objectives as you navigate your brand strategy. Your core values, they're going to lead you to your unique, selling proposition, your mission statement, your vision statement, your value statement, and also your culture statement. And when you are clear on these, decision making becomes effortless because you always have a guiding framework or a North Star to navigate towards, and it can really be some deep stuff. Now, what about color psychology? What about evoking emotion through design? Color isn't just about aesthetics. It's about emotion and perception and also influence. Every single color has a definition, has a characteristic, and a psychological impact. Choosing, brand colors should be a strategic decision that aligns with your values and your audience and your desired guest perception. It will then lead to your brand identity and also maybe your font packages as well. Your logo and your typography and your visual identity should be an instant reflection of your brand strategy. Your font choices, they even communicate, tone. For example, bold and thick fonts communicate confidence and strength. And then, what about elegant, script type fonts? They communicate sophistication and exclusivity. And then there's, minimalist, clean fonts. They communicate being modern and approachable. These elements need to be consistent across every single guest touch point, from signage to menus to websites and even to staff uniforms. Why? Because inconsistency kills credibility. Now, what about brand positioning and finding your niche or your niche, however it is that you like to say it? If you try to be everything to everyone, you're going to end up being nothing to anyone. I mentioned this in one of the last episodes as well. Brand positioning is about clearly defining your niche and owning a space in the market. Who is your ideal guest? What experience, do you provide that competitors do not? How do you make people, feel differently than the place maybe down the street? Your positioning defines your pricing and your messaging and your design and the overall brand experience. But here's the thing. A great brand isn't just seen, it's experienced. Brand activation is about bringing your whole identity to life through creative initiatives that engage guests and build loyalty and increase awareness. Remember, your brand isn't what you say it is. It's what your guests experience every time they interact with you. And once you've built, a brand strategy and a brand strategy playbook, you need to protect it. A brand guide is a separate, comprehensive document that really outlines all of your brand standards, ensuring that there is, consistency across interior design for architects and designers and marketing for digital and print media and staff training to communicate and maintain, culture and staff experiences and of course, the guest experience. Now, without a brand guide, scaling your concept will lead to inconsistencies that end up diluting your identity. So, as I wrap up here today on episode 13, a brand strategy playbook is more than a document. It's the foundation for building a memorable and scalable and profitable hospitality business. It goes hand in hand with the other playbooks that you need for success. Now, here's something that I want to leave with you here today. If you don't define your brand, your guests are going to define it for you. Thank you for listening to Hospitality Reinvented. If you found value in this episode, please like and share and comment or leave a review. It really helps spread the message, and it helps reinvent what success looks like in this industry. Next week, we are going to be talking tech stack playbooks. Until next time, stay bold, stay strategic, and let's keep reinventing hospitality together.